hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies lay on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the street light at the end so I could show you. You're golden, golden, honestly you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden.
getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket, golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it, you caught it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the street like at the young so I could show you. You're golden, golden, honestly you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden, yeah, you're golden. You're golden, yeah, you're golden, golden, yeah. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under
getting hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for the final round of the season. It is the AM Championship, and it is the finale. 3 drivers can win the championship tonight, and them 3 drivers are Tech Leader, JP, and Emo Guy. Emo Guy needs somewhat of a miracle. But Jay and Tech Leader are the 2 that are separated by 2 points. The championship standings are like this. We'll get into them straight away before anything else, as Tech Leader leads the way. 154 points, 2 clear of Jay, 152. Emo Guy, 25 points up for grabs, can still mathematically win this championship, but he is 23 points behind, so he needs a big, big work tonight for him. Ant then is P4. He's not here tonight, sadly. He is 28 points off the back of the championship leader. Future Revenge, P5. Ginger Bush is in P6 with Baraba, 7th place. Sharpbait is P8 with Danlick in P9. Ben Bath, 10th. John Andrews is P11 with KLF, 12th. Leon Fernie, 13th. Dan and Orthodubs is P14. Shoemaker is in 15th place. O in 16th. Checo Bress, P17. Hitman, P18. CV Renner, P19. And Lee Hendy, P20. And we have to say as well, CV Renner, hopefully you managed to sort everything out soon, because obviously we heard the tragic news that you'd been burgled into your house the other day and had a lot of things stolen. So hopefully you can get a lot sorted for next season, buddy. But yeah, we do miss you on the grid, because you was a decent competitor on the grid. But we go into tonight. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin. We're not joined by Joseph Bates tonight. He's a little busy personal things. We are joined by PM Motorsport. PM, good evening.
Good evening, Matt.
How are we?
Yeah, not too bad. Let's get this championship fight on the road. At least we had one go onto the wire. Well,
Yeah.
actually, we've still got Pro-Am.
We've still got Pro-Am, but tonight is going to be an absolutely fantastic championship battle, isn't it? We've got 3 drivers up for this championship fight. This could be absolutely fantastic here. It could be, you know, such a mega epic battle that it it could go down in history at SimPlay, like the KLF Rabbit Joe one of Season 4 back on the Project Cars 2 days.
Yeah, could do. I think I barely remember that. I think I was in SimPlay by then, wasn't I?
I believe so. We went down to second places, for those who don't remember.
Yeah, it must have been, because that's after Mr. Francis departed.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So you would have been around by then. Good evening in the chat to Micro J's. Evening, JUMVDM. Good evening to yourself, Benedict Varga, a.k.a. Nexus from Pro. He'll be back in the commentary box tomorrow night. Evening to you, Audio Sport, our fantastic partner. Fantastic partner. Good evening to you, Daz Automatic. Good evening to you, sir. Apologies for reading some of the comments there. Daz, hopefully you can feel it coming in the air tonight. There's Micro J's as well in the chat. Him and Daz having a good conversation. And then Benedict Varga, it's nice to see the one and only Hungaroring. Obviously, Nexus's home circuit. So does he have home field advantage for tomorrow evening?
Well, he'd be acclimatised for the heat, wouldn't he?
He'll know the conditions pretty well, because it is... Let's actually mention the heat. It is hot. 34 degrees ambient, 43 degrees track. It is a hot one tonight.
Yeah, but those tyres are going to be like chewing gum, where it's really, really, really sticky and not go anywhere.
And the worst thing for these drivers, PN, is there isn't that second race for it to cool down. It is just going to be hot. They have an extra 15 minutes to do as well. It's a hot night tonight, isn't it? It is a real scorcher here.
Yeah, you might as well not bother. You might as well run your tyres on 20 psi and be done with it.
Yeah. Run them as low as possibly can. They are going to get very hot and sticky. So, could this tonight then, PM? We're going to start to see maybe a few drivers who pit early or pit late possibly really start to struggle on their tyres tonight. And tactically, this could benefit other people around them.
It could do, couldn't it? But let's see which cars are easier on the tyres than others. Jenna putting heat in them. My guess, anything front-engined and rear-wheel drive will struggle with tyre temps.
Potentially so. Now, we know the championship battle's on. Is this going to be the way that the championship could be decided on a tyre strategy?
It could be, yeah. Like, do you pit halfway through the window? Do you pit early, as soon as the window opens? Like,
yeah.
Basically, it's my favourite thing to do. But probably won't be doing that tomorrow night.
No, exactly. The bonus for us is we only have the half-an-hour races. We don't have the full 45 minutes. I noticed before we went live, we are only 17 subscribers as well away from the 500 mark. So we gained another 2 subscribers today. So thank you all who are out there subscribing to the channel. It really does mean a lot, and it really does help the channel when you subscribe, and it helps the channel progress, as well as hitting that thumbs up button and the bell to be notified. It is final week, PN. Final week for Porsche Cup, final week for Am, Pro-Am, and Pro is done. It's a battle of places in Pro, isn't it, up and down the grid. Pro-Am, though, has a 4-way fight tomorrow night. Let's build up to this one a little bit as well, because it's got a lot of opportunities to, throw up a lot of in the mix, especially with the 2 races. 61 points, I believe, up for grabs tomorrow night. So it's really got a lot in the mix, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. It'll be interesting. Those who have not tested this week, you're going to have your eyes opened with these temperatures.
You are going to have your eyes opened, indeed. If you had to pick a winner tonight, who's your winner going to be, and who is the man who you think? So give us your winner and give us who's going to win the championship tonight.
You mean, who am I going to double curse? Because the commentator's curse is real.
Yeah.
I think maybe Emo will give it anything to try and win the race, but it's got to be a Ferrari. It's got to be a champion. So either Ferrari, JP or Tech.
Either Ferrari. Another part of the championship tonight that could. Who are you going to say though? Who are you going with for the championship?
I think
you've got to pick one.
Jay. It's got to have to be Jay. He's won more races. He has this season.
Yeah.
He was our first double winner.
He was. He was indeed. He's got 2 race wins to his name, where Tech Leader only has the 1. So, yeah, could it be Jay? Let's see what happens. In the chat, though, Christian Fay. Good luck, Jay and Tech Leader. You untouchable Sexy duo. Well, thanks for that, Christian. Hopefully you are subscribed to the channel and are in for an absolute thriller of a ride tonight. In terms of this then, you're going, Jay, I think Tech Leader may have enough to get this one done in terms of the championship win tonight. We know the Constructors is already up for wraps. But we start to look to next season. We know the calendar for next season. We start to look at next season. There's obviously going to be the admin chat next week. Myself, yourself, Peaceful Explosion and Unorthodox in that admin chat. Discussing, changes, rules and regulations, changes that we're going to have, possibly format changes for next season. So it's not like we take a break after this week. The work still continues behind closed doors of what will happen into the next season.
Yeah, it does. It's going to be interesting because I've got a few things to say, especially from the manufacturers. Though we don't have McLaren just wipe the floor with everybody because there's so many McLarens over there.
I have a feeling you may see a few Audis out there next season. Don't know why. Just I have a feeling we may see a few Audis on the track next season.
Maybe if Louis wins Pro-Am in the Honda, we might see more Hondas.
Well, we'll wait and see. Mike's had a good season in the Honda and is doing well. So we'll see what happens here. But either way, it's going to be a fascinating night of racing. It's going to be a fascinating night of action in this amateur league. Let's get a quick poll up, actually. Am champion, I think we'll go for. Tech Leader, JP, or Emo Guy. They are who your options are. That is who you can vote for. We'll change that poll just before the start of the race to see who will be the race winner or who you think will be the race winner. But PN tonight, Ferrari can confirm themselves as third in the Manufacturers' Championship. We know it's been a bit dull in the manufacturer. Obviously, McLaren dominated the win. Bentley dominated second place. But tonight, Ferrari have that chance to win to get third place, should I say, over Porsche. They've got 115 points to Porsche with 127 left on the table. So, we know Porsche's with one Porsche on the grid tonight. You feel that the two Ferraris could possibly get that one done.
Yeah, and they've got the pace as well. And it'd be nice for Ferrari to have something other than between 24 hours and Le Mans this year.
Yeah, they'll have the SimPlay third place. They'll have the SimPlay third place in the manufacturers. I think that's the biggest one in Ferrari's achievements this season, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the manufacturer, obviously, it was something we as admins did as fun and did as a bit of a, light-hearted thing to see what it would be like across all three leagues. Are we surprised, Benny, in the manufacturers? Let me read out the manufacturers. McLaren's won, 833 points clear. Bentley are second. They're well clear of Ferrari, who are third, confirmed third tonight. Porsche then about 40-odd points ahead of Lexus, who are ahead of Honda, Audi, and Aston Martin. Are you surprised by Lexus in P5?
No, because Fury's found pace in the Lexus. He's been pretty rapid enough. Bryn was quite quick for a couple of races as well in Pro-Am.
Shane as well had his good week at Zandvoort.
Yeah, so the biggest surprise was how awful the Aston Martin has been.
Yeah, it hasn't looked at its best. After Aston Martin is on a big jump back to the BMW. That is well clear of the Mercedes-Benz with Nissan just behind that. Nissan could go above the Mercedes-Benz. No X-Fate for tomorrow night at the moment, so that could really go ahead of the Mercedes-Benz there. The Retty then, we have to tip our hat. We've said it every week. We have to tip our hat to Dan. He's done a great job in a car that just doesn't want to turn.
Yeah, it was interesting to see him Ripper tested it last night.
The Lamborghini.
Final race did final two races in the Retty. You won't mind, you've won it anyway.
Yeah, you've won it anyway. Lamborghini got 13 points with Welsh and Stelsloff at the beginning stage of the season. And Jaguar scored 5 with Lucas Roth before he got moved into the Pro-Am category then. So, all still to play for, all still up for grabs. Jay versus Tech Leader at the moment. The championship, it's going the way of Tech Leader on the poll as well. Evening to Jamie Brazier in the chat. Ben Bath and I will have the post-race tea bags ready. So a nice cup of tea for all. A nice cup of tea for all after the race. No champagne, just cups of tea for Jay and Tech Leader. Either way, they're part of the same stable, but tonight, what is going to be the case? Are they going to race each other? They're part of the same team, the Flying Potatoes team. Are they going to race each other, though?
Have they had a gentleman's agreement? Who's going to win this? Nah.
Well, I know they'll be in the same party. I hope they race.
I want them to race. I don't like team orders.
Yeah.
Never really liked team orders. Just let them race, and if they take each other out, it's happened, and you can't change it.
It's going to be interesting, to say the least, isn't it? It is going to be a fascinating night. It's going to be an interesting night, and it's going to be a night where we could find out who will do what in terms of this season then. So at the moment, for everybody out there, they have the opportunity to score points to finish higher up in the championship this season. You know, it's a chance for drivers to get inside the top 10. Maybe make a claim for next season if they're back in the amateur division next season. It's a chance, really, isn't it, to show what they're going to do as we see Son overtake Dad into turn 1 down the straight. And it looks like Dad's about to come back and overtake Son. Well, I think Dan's Andretti has got a little bit more pace down this second straight into turn 2.
It's a straight line advantage of Andretti, but it just does not handle.
No, it does not handle.
In fact, most of that I can't even see the front splitter because it's glitching under the floor of the game.
I know that Dan and Kelly over the seasons of Project Cars and F1 and other things, they've had a bonfire ready for the cars that they've driven, and I'm sure that this car will be straight on the bonfire of bad cars at the end of the season.
Oh, I don't know. I just keep the cars I don't like in the back of the garage.
Oh, yeah, it's at the back of the SimPlay Motorsport warehouse with all the championship-winning cars. There's a massive bonfire for ones that aren't liked.
I mean, I like the Aston, but I don't think it suits half the tracks.
The tracks next season, though, while we've got 7.5 minutes left, let's talk about the tracks next season. They're going to be an interesting selection. Obviously, we know the calendar already. That was announced a few weeks ago that we brought to you on the stream. For those of you who haven't heard or seen the calendar, we go to Kyle Army, Monza, Imola, Hungary, Donington Park, Bathurst, Laguna Seca, Suzuka, Nürburgring and Misano. Not many power circuits there. Monza, Misano, potentially more for the power. But a lot of them, you know, I don't know, I think Bathurst is all about the mountain, isn't it? Really.
It's about the mountain, but
you
need for horsepower to get up both straights and down the Conrad.
But this is the thing, though, isn't it? Is you could use the Retia, quickest car in a straight line. Great. You ain't going to get it up and down the mountain, so that's where the time's won and lost. There's a lot of tracks here, though, PN, that we may see more Hondas because the Honda we know is good on the Intercontinental DLC. Are we going to see different cars next season that could possibly give drivers the advantage? Donington Park as well. It's not a massively powerful circuit. It's more about a chassis.
Well, one year a Bentley won at Donington Park in British GT because it rained and they were on the correct tyres at the time. The Team Parker Racing. Bentley.
Optimistic then. Yeah, optimistic then for next year.
Well, then again, though, by then it'll probably be wet because we're in October, November time.
So when is Donington Park actually? So that'll be the end, the 31st, 1st and 2nd of October, November. So could be wet. Although to be our chance, it'll be 15 degrees sunshine and red hot for Donington Park, and then it'll be raining for Bathurst in Australia when it's coming to their summer.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it seems to work at times, isn't it? So be interesting to see. Any driver you want to talk about tonight, give a special mention to this season?
Is this in all 3 leagues or just?
Just tonight's league, and then we can go all 3 leagues.
Well, most of AM's impressed me, actually. They've come in.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was going to happen as in be broadcast originally, because we only had, 6 sign-ups for it. And then all of a sudden, bang, 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 and we had a stream on a Tuesday, which is a lot more work for us lot.
I'll tell you who has impressed me, is Shoemaker. Now, he's not had outright pace, but he should have had a race. He possibly should have had, he should have had a race win to his name, but for his internet. And the guy's 14 years old, so he's really, learning his craft, isn't he?
Yeah. He'll get there eventually. Don't give up. Well, probably won't be happy if we all move to the PS5 beforehand.
No, I think we're definitely PS4 next season. There may be PS5 stuff coming. I think we're definitely PS4 next season. I think the thing with the PS5 version is now that we know driver swaps work, we could effectively have all 3 leagues in one night with a driver swap with your teammate.
Yeah, I'll choose a teammate who's not.
Well, the discussion was, if you remember rightly, this come from Bozzy Boy. An actual sensible sort of suggestion is, if we do go to PS5 and if we do go to driver swaps, you take the top 10 from Prime, you take the bottom 10 for Prime, you split them. 30 drivers in Pro, 30 drivers in Prime. Because you can have 30 cars on the grid in the PS5 version, it's a Pro driver teamed with an AM driver, like in the real GT world. And in the real GT world, the AMs either start the race or finish the race.
It's whatever you're most confident with. Do you want to...
Yeah.
Well, if you were, who was at Farmer, who teamed with Licky Team in 2019, he threw away a 10-second lead.
Yeah.
Licky Team built up around Snetterton
Yeah.
that year. And Licky Team was not a happy bunny. Because I was talking to him a lot. I got a photo of me with him as well, and an Aston Martin signed by Licky Team. Funny that he drives everything now. He drives Audis.
Sort of dabbles in all cars, doesn't he, at the moment?
Yeah.
As Baralbert, the only man to not set a time. Kelly's currently P5 at the moment. Kelly's got good pace. Just to let you know, Kelly is serving a 3-place grid penalty. Now, this is due to penalty points accumulated across the season. So he's got a 3-place grid penalty, and will have to serve that tonight, which demotes him from behind Leon Fernie all the way down. I say all the way. There's a few drivers that can't make tonight. So it was like down in 10th, 11th. He's now going to be starting P7, which is a roundabout where he should have been originally anyway. So he is on a 3-place grid penalty. So for Kelly, it's a 3-place grid penalty for him. In terms of the season, though, has any driver really impressed you out of any league? Obviously GT3, not Porsche Cup. Anybody really impress you this season?
Ripper. God, he had some pace. Ripper's just blown the doors open, really. I mean, even when we briefly had De Silva, Ripper was just rapid.
He took 4 wins on the bounce at Spa and Catalonia, then wasn't on the podium at all for Zolder. Got back on the podium for Brands 3rd and 2nd. Then took a double win at Kyle Army. He got a win and a 2nd at Zandvoort. He got a win and a 3rd at Silverstone and a double win last week. The only other time he wasn't on the podium was Paul Ricard, where De Silva took 2 race wins. The race wins that Ripper hasn't won, De Silva won both at Paul Ricard. I then won both at Zolder. Camel won 1 at Brands Hatch due to penalties on that night. Overtaker won then the 2nd race at Brands Hatch, to which Fury then won 1 at Zolder, and I won 1 at Silverstone. So they've been the drivers that have beaten Ripper in terms of race wins this season. Do you know what I'm going to say? Louis Allen.
For not having a win yet.
He's not had a win, but he's 32 points clear in the championship. I think Louis Allen has had a phenomenal season. Yeah, exactly, Jamie. Liam with a sensible suggestion. But yeah, I think Louis Allen has had a fantastic season. He's not had a win, but leads by 32 points. For me...
Can we get the original commentator? What was meant to do Tuesdays back in, Jamie?
Well, we normally have Fury in the box with us, don't we? So, Jamie, if you fancy a chat and fancy being back on stream, get yourself, drop me a message. And get you back in. The original AM commentator from this season before he turned into Houdini, as Ben Baffy's trying to get past Dan into the chicane and can't do so. Now, right.
Finals week. Things are off the hook now.
Finals week. Everything, nothing matters. Gloves off. Now, what does Dan have to do tonight, PM? He's got such a long start straight. What does Dan have to do to get a good result tonight?
Hope he finds someone who's a bottleneck to hold everyone else up. So
the words Jason Plato spring to mind for me on every apex.
Just park it sideways. So it's
park it so no one can come through, and then the minute you get out that final corner, floor it.
Yeah.
Because turn 1 round here is pretty much the only place you can really overtake.
Yep.
Jamie says, give me 5 minutes as they practice pit entry. In they come. So they're all in. And there's the pit lane board. Oh, look at that, the pit lane board. Just as you start to pick up speed on the throttle, the pit lane board comes up. So thank you, Dan and Ben Bath, there for demonstrating the pit entry line for us. John Andrews is on his final lap of the session. As Emo Guy as well is going to come towards line to finish the lap. John Andrews has aborted. So we will then await to see what happens with Emo Guy. Into the final couple of corners now, and around this Hungaroring, consistency is key.
Emo's the one with nothing to lose for this championship.
Do you want to know the most successful drivers around here? We've had one race around here.
That was our mini-season, wasn't it?
Was our mini-season. Bosssoft, who only did 2 races, took the pole position. And can you name the race winner?
You.
Yeah, well done. It was me who won the only race. So I can be joined tonight on 1 win. Bostoff will still hold the record for most pole positions and will be joint holder of that race, of that stat, until Hungaroring comes back. So it's not on next season's calendar. So Bostoff will still...
It is on next season's calendar.
Is it on next season's calendar?
Yeah.
Did I just say it? I've just read the calendar out. It is.
Yeah,
so Bostoff could possibly hold that record until next season, because he'll be tied with whoever gets pole tomorrow and whoever gets pole... Sorry, when Ripper gets pole on Thursday.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Tip for the race win, though, PM?
Oh, if I could get through clean... Oh, again, because I've gone for Jay for the championship, I'll have to say Jay. But it's Emo Guy with nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ben Bath, because I feel that he really does have nothing to lose, and with his other 2 teammates from the Flying Potato stable going to be battling it out. Could he sneak through and win? But we'll give you the grid order momentarily, as well as the drivers are about to get ready to go, as the qualifying session for us broadcasters has ended and the grid order has been updated. So, Jay versus Tech Leader versus Emo Guy. Tech Leader has that upper hand at the moment. Who will be top dog in tonight's race? The drivers now get to prepare and get themselves ready to go into the setup screen, make any last adjustments they need to make sure the fuel is right, make sure the tyre pressures are right, and then we get to go. Track is optimum though, PM, but it is still a 45-degree track temperature.
Yeah, it's warm, isn't it? Oh, I've hit drive. Okay, do my on in Evo. Oops.
Benedict Vargas just said, "Do you know why I can't wait for Mizano next season? Because I want you to hear you mention my only pole position." There we go. Our Spa 2.4 hour winner, or technically by Mike's adjustment on the G Portal server settings, the Spa 7.2 hour winner in terms of actual day tonight. Nexus, are you the man to beat on Mizano? De Silva won the races, but Nexus got the pole position. Right, 30 seconds left. Get your votes in for who you think is going to win this race. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and hit the bell to be notified. PN and Dan Davis will be live for the finale of Pro, where the championships have both been won. Thursday night, 8 p.m. UK time. Myself and Benedict Varga will be in the box tomorrow night, where it is a 4-way fight for the championship in the drivers' standings. Louis Allen, Smokey Devils, Kulovic and Tibbs all fighting for that one. And join me and PN, where again, championship's done and decided in the Porsche Carrera Cup on Sunday evening. We are go here. It is Shoemaker who leads the pack away. And after Shoemaker, it will be Dan Unorthodox, who's going to slot in just ahead of John Andrews. John Andrews just needs to back off a little bit. After Dan Unorthodox, it is then Leon Fernie. Now, you see Dan aggressively warming his tyres up here. Don't think that's a wise choice, Dan. I think they will get warm naturally. Ben Bath has come flying to the front. Not sure why. He's meant to be P5. So it is Shoemaker from Dan. Leon Fernie is still not yet in position, but John Andrews and Ben Bath. And now Jay's coming through.
Emo's waiting. Here comes Barracuda, as Michael J said in my chat earlier, before going live on the main broadcast. It's Barracuda now.
So Leon Fernie still not yet in position. He's coming through now. John Andrews and Ben Bath need to slow down. John Andrews and Ben Bath are just got to let Leon Fernie get in front of him.
Come on, it's a final race. You must.
I know. We'd think after 10 weeks we'd know how to do the grid order. Ben Bath and John are actually in the correct positions. Dan Lick should then be ahead of KLF. He's not. As Ben Bath now lets Leon Fernie go. Now John Andrews needs to let Leon Fernie get up another place. Leon, just drive through him.
Yeah, cars ghost. It's not like the F1 game where you get disqualified from a warm-up lap.
So John Andrews needs to drop behind Leon Fernie. Behind that, though, PN, keep your eyes on Leon Fernie. Behind that, Ben Baff is in the correct position. Oh, yeah, you press drive. Then it is Danlick, who's behind Ben Baff. KLF is behind Danlick. That is correct. Behind him is Baraba. Behind Baraba is Future Revenge. Behind Future Revenge should then be Emo Guy. Yes, it is. Behind Emo Guy should be Jay and then Tech Leader. So it is literally just John Andrew. In fact, Emo Guy, Leon Fernie now is in position. So we are all ready to go for the race. So it took a while to get there, but we're all sorted now.
Well, I've got a perfect view at the moment of the championship rivals with Emo and the two Ferraris.
Right at the back as well. So that should be an absolute fantastic one to keep your eyes on.
I might be going back to Ferrari race properly next season, but I don't know what I'm doing in reality. Yay!
Back to Ferrari.
Well, got a win of Ferrari and Monza, or not.
We've got 3 Italian tracks next year, haven't we? We've got Monza, Misano and Imola on the calendar. So 3 tracks for it to win at. The Hungaroring, though. Benedict Varga's home circuit. Who's going to be top dog tonight as they come towards the middle sector? Shoemaker starts on pole. Now, I've noticed, PN, that there is not a lot of tyre warming and tyre preparation going on here.
You don't need it. If anything, you actually take the life off your tyres with sliding up that much. And that's the last thing you want is a puncture. You actually generate more heat in tyres just gently pressing the brake pedal.
Yeah, gently being on the brake pedal, and you do actually warming them up. And Dan then just starting to weave the tyres a little bit there, as does Ben Bath. And I just wonder if the drivers have seen that the track temperature's gone up to 46 degrees, because at the moment, that's enough to cook a fry up on. You know, you could cook your full English breakfast on this circuit at the minute. It is that hot.
You're making me really hungry now.
I'd literally just eaten before we went on air. As we say, good evening to Jamie Brazier in the chat.
Good evening. Evening.
Jamie, a quick race winner from yourself?
I'm going to have to say Tech Leader.
There you go.
From what I've seen of him of the few weeks that I have watched, he's looked very, very, very quick.
Right, we're around the final corner, so it's Jay, Tech Leader and Ben Bath, the guys in the commentary box who recommend will win this race. Race start will be initialised very shortly as they come down the start straight. It is initialised now, which means we are...
Not going.
Green and go, and Dan gets the almighty launch. We knew the Retia would get down towards turn 1. Danny's already going to be in the lead of this race as they head down towards it now. Look at the lead he's got. He actually hasn't, as the cameraman pans out. He's not got as big a lead as we thought. Shoemaker's massively outbraked himself into turn 1. It is all through relatively cleanly as Future Revenge and Baraba's dropped towards the back. As we come towards turn 2 now, Dan already leads this race from Shoemaker, from Leon Fernie. Emo Guy's already made up places, as is JP down in the background. And so Ben Bath, but absolute carnage at turn 2. Absolute chaos. Who's involved? Jay looks like he's got damage. Tech Leader's dropped towards the back of the pack as well. And as they come through, it's Dan, Shoemaker. Who is then P3? We await them to come through. It's Ben Bath from Jay, from Leon, Kelly, John Andrews, Baraba, Tech Leader, Danlick, Future Revenge, Emo Guy coming up short at the back of the pack. And already, Jamie and PN, it is kicked off at turn 2.
Yeah, it has indeed. Emo Guy looked like he just tapped someone in the rear, unsettled the back of their car, and round they went, and chaos ensued.
And PN, it's happened already. Ben Bath has let Jay go.
Yep. Yep. Working as a team there, because Ben Bath. But will he let Tech Leader through if Tech Leader comes up to behind him?
Well, this is the interesting one, as Tech Leader's just made a move on Baraba there, and further behind, Future Revenge has just had Emo Guy overtake him. But out front through the second sector, it's Dan from Shoemaker, now from Jay, with Ben Bath having Leon, Kelly, John Andrews, Tech Leader, Baraba, Danlick in a train behind them at the moment. Emo Guy and Future Revenge trying to catch up. One thing to mention there as well, PN, with these hot track temperatures, them spins they'd have had would have really heated up them tyres.
I reckon on their MFD, on their screen, they are orange or maybe even red at the moment, them tyres.
as Dan has a flash of the lights. It was 7/10 as they crossed the line. That gap has already extended pretty much, you'd imagine, to over a second. He's pulled away from Shoemaker. Not as much as you'd have thought here. Jay starting to come down now. And Tech Leader, look, going up the inside of John Andrews down towards turn 1. He's going to have Kelly turning in the corner as John Andrews goes deep on the braking. And Tech Leader, thank you, Mama, for the carrots. He's up to P7 now.
Yeah, P7. John Andrews had a wiggle coming at the final corner, which allowed Tech Leader to get the run on him down the straight, and he's straight on to KLF.
Just noticed as well that Emo Guy's got himself ahead of Danlick and KLF PN. We've said it for weeks on end now. He's one of the hardest defenders here at SimPlay Motorsport, and Tech Leader's got a championship he wants to win. So they're both going to be tooth and nail, because you know Kelly is not going to want to give an inch, and he's lost it on his own, and he's bounced off the wall. He has to keep it out of trouble. He's caught Emo.
Oh, yeah, on that race start, Future Revenge was out of position, who for some reason was right at the back.
Right, okay. So hopefully you've noted that one.
Yeah,
and we can look.
I'll put it on Discord.
Yeah, and we can look into that one in a moment. Dan has got Shoemaker right on the back of him as Jay is now third. Ben being dropped by Jay. Then it's Leon Fernie. Tech Leader is now up into that P6 position as Kelly's down at the back. John Andrews is 7th. Baraba will be 8th. Emo will be, I think, down in 10th still, because I think Danlick's got past him as they come through the second sector. But Dan and Shoemaker, look, going tooth and nail. They're 2 seconds clear of Jay at the moment, but they're battling 3 tenths between each other. Fair play to the youngster, giving it to the 6-time champ here.
But he's in a McLaren.
Yeah, but this is where he'll struggle.
We've
had a retirement.
Who have we lost?
Future Revenge.
No, Future Revenge is still there.
He's still
Kelly.
there.
I'm not sure who we've just lost there.
Well, I'm sure my chat will probably let me know as well if watching my stream from my POV.
Leon Fernie.
Yeah.
So that's just given Tech Leader another place there.
That gives Tech Leader another place. Now, Leon Fernie can get back in to score points, but that will be nil point for him in this one. And that's a shame, because Leon Fernie's had a good season this season, hasn't he, Pierre? He got that podium at Zandvoort.
He has. He was quite a good roadblock at Zandvoort as well when Dan won that race. Maybe he's had his internet wire cut. Oh, wait, that was Welshie on.
That was Welsh on Keegs, yeah. Welsh on Keegs there. Emo Guy, now looking onto the back of Baraba. He's got himself back ahead of Danlick here, so he's back up another place. And he now has to start motoring on to get on the back of other cars, because with Leon Fernie gone, that's another place that he's going to lose here.
Tech Leader's right on Ben Bath.
Yeah, Tech Leader's right on the back of Ben Bath. He's up the inside, and
Ben Bath's let him through.
Yeah, I think the flying potato stable there. Ben Bath has gone, this is between you two. You fight it out. There is now no cars between them. Dan still gapping Shoemaker. He's come to the end of lap 3 in the lead of this race. Baraba's got Emo Guy hunting him down, and Danlick right in this fight as well at the moment. It's a cracking battle at the back of the pack, and with not many drivers on the grid tonight, it's not what Emo Guy would have wanted for his championship chances.
No, Jay's got a little bit closer to Shoemaker and Dan as well. The gap was about 2 seconds. Shoemaker to Jay, and Jay's now got to 1.2 seconds.
As Emo Guy goes up the inside of Baraba at the penultimate corner. Can he get the job done? Baraba's coming back at him for the final corner. And I remember in that short season, this is where Emo Guy and Bossoft had a little coming together. No coming together for them two tonight. Baraba back ahead of Emo Guy. Good move and good driving from them two. As Dan leads from Shoemaker on to lap 4 now. Jay is coming, like Jamie says. Tech Lead is now P4. He's going to be charging. Ben Bath has no answer for these two as Emo Guy's looking up the inside of Baraba into turn 1. Emo Guy, does he outbrake himself? The Bentley comes back underneath on Emo Guy. And does the Bentley have the momentum to get through? No, Emo Guy keeps that job done. So Emo Guy now moves himself up into P7. Good move, that.
Yeah, Dan just had a little bit of a look there at Baraba as well, but couldn't pull the move off and set off then behind him. We've got a drive-through penalty for Jay.
Oh, Jay! He's taken too many track limits. He's had a moment as well at turn 4. Piani's gone horribly wrong for him.
Yeah, it's a commentator curse, I tell you. It's real.
What this means then is Tech Lead is now into 3rd, and this is game on for the championship. Jay's got all sorts to do now. But the track limits, and we've not seen many drive-through penalties this season because of track limits, but Jay there has clearly just pushed him a little too hard, and he's now got a drive-through penalty. Pierre, this is going to really hurt his championship chances. He's led the season, he's led the championship for most of the season.
Yeah, this is not what you want, is it? He's He needs to service within 3 laps, or he will be disqualified.
Get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, get it done as soon as possible. The pit window opens. Get it done as soon as possible. Get it done as soon as possible. Pit won't yet anyway. So
Bumping of doors, and they've moved on though. John Andrews comes back at him and forces him wide. And John Andrews will keep hold of that place. That brings Baraba and Danlik, who are side by side as well, just behind. As Jay doesn't do his drive through this lap, he's got 2 more laps to do it. Baraba now trying to stay ahead of Danlik. And we already starting to see some of these tyres overheat. The Shoemaker, by the way, didn't get dropped by Dan down the straight. Danny's still got Shoemaker on his rear end.
Tech Leader was sliding through turn 1. Absolutely sliding.
Emo guy's sending it down the inside of turn 1 of John Andrews. And you'd think he's got the move done unless the Porsche can get the drive out at turn 1, but he can't.
The Nissan looking strong here. The Retia looking like it's struggling. What do we think of Dan, though, tonight at the minute? Because he's driving well. He's now on to lap 5, still in the lead of this race. I think he didn't expect him to have this one. But has he sacrificed some of that Retia straight line speed for a bit more cornering ability?
Highly possible. That Retia. I bet he wishes in the Huracan instead.
He probably does wish he was in the Huracan. Right, in towards the middle sector. There you go now. Dan from Shoemaker with Tech Leader on the back of him. Jay, who looks like he's got a bit more front-end damage, is now coming under more pressure. Kelly, just even with his front-end damage, is actually gaining on this train of cars with John Andrews, Baraba, Danlik, Future Revenge all in this middle of the pack, as Danlik's having a look on Future Revenge. So Kelly's actually catching these with the damage here. Back to the leaders at the front, because Tech Leader is now pushing Shoemaker through the final couple of turns here. He's right on the back, so this could give Dan that bonus of a bit of breathing space.
Can indeed. I'm just seeing if JP comes into service drive-through. Because if
He is.
he is. He's in now.
Yeah, I think that's very sensible from Jay then to get it done as soon as possible. Dan already pulls to one side. His tyres will cool down. Dan pulls to the inside line. He now gets it down the start straight and he starts to pull away and he pulls back across the track as Tech Leader now. Is he going to look up the inside of Shoemaker? Should Shoemaker have stayed where he was to cover his position? Yes, he should have, because Dan's gone a little deep. And does this allow Tech Leader to have a look at Dan in towards turn 2? No, he won't, because Dan's just managed to use that Retia to pull away.
Why is Jay going to his pit stall? You just drive through. You've got to drive through. Just keep driving. I don't know if he could hear us on the stream.
Wow, that's interesting.
He
John
stopped.
Baraba here being overtaken by Danlik up the inside at turn 1. Kelly's joined in this little battle as Danlik then is... John Andrews has pulled away from these three. Baraba and Danlik have a little tap. That forces Danlik a little wide. Does this allow Future Revenge to have a look? No, it doesn't. Kelly's right with them. So Kelly a chance to make up some positions tonight as well. And Baraba once again hangs on to that position. But because of Jay having that little stop, he's now well last.
I think he must have heard us in the main broadcast, just saying, "What?
Oh.
Don't stop,
Yeah,
keep going."
Tech Leader's just had a massive slide at the top end of the circuit. And lost
Just about to
huge
say the same thing
down.
there, Jamie. He's really pushing them tyres in this temperature.
Yeah, he got really close to the back of Dan, then made a mistake going into the chicane, and Dan just managed to scamper away a little bit. He's just not.
Oh, he's wide again.
No, I don't think he's able to pull his tyres down at the minute.
Well, this is going to be interesting in terms of the pit stops, because the pit window opens around about, is it the 32.5-minute mark, I believe, PM? Not quite sure. Can't really remember. Might be the 27 minutes, something like that. I'm not quite sure. Either way, we'll see when the pit window opens in just a few moments' time. But Dan can extend that lead in the Retia. He had a bigger gap coming out the final corner. And he can go away again. Danlik has Baraba right on the back, Future Revenge right on the back of him, with Baraba right in front. KLF is really gaining on these two, and Jay nowhere near at the moment. But back down towards turn 1, it's Dan from Tech Leader from Shoemaker. Benbath has been dropped by the front three, 6.6 seconds.
Yeah, Benbath looks a bit lonely at the moment. Emo guy's 8 seconds behind, and Shoemaker's 6 seconds in front. As Dan Dan's run a little bit wide, and Tech Leader's coming to the outside. You're not going to overtake on the outside here, and he thinks better of it.
Yeah, you're not going to get the job done there, especially on a car that understeers at every opportunity. You're not really going to get it done there, but he has a quick look on Orthodox, and now Tech Leader more than Shoemaker is the championship leader, putting a bit of pressure on Orthodox, PN, because at the moment, even though he looks slidey and slow in the middle sector, geez, I thought Shoemaker wasn't going to get that stopped.
Yeah, my heart was in my mouth for that as well. Yeah, that corner where Tech had a look on the outside of Dan. That's not a good corner for Ferraris.
It's not, as Tech Leader gives Dan a little bump up the rear. Sorry to cut you off, PN. And is that just the cause of Dan's wreck here? Having to park it on the apex a little bit. But that's a tap from Tech Leader on the back of Dan as Dan's very wide again. Now, I tell you what, is this what Jay was doing? And is this why Jay was getting the track limits warnings as Dan now defends that inside line from Tech Leader? And even though Shoemaker's here, this is a cracking battle between the three of them. Shoemaker's having a look on the inside of Tech. Oh, he spun him around! He spun Tech Leader around. He waits for Tech Leader to get going, and he's allowed Tech Leader to get going. But Dan now has got the breathing space he needs. Tech Leader pulls off. Oh, right. I wonder, is that...
The pit window's not open.
He's pitting here. What's this about? I wonder if he let Shoemaker and Ben through to cool his tyres down with that little slide he'd have had on the rear, but does he feel like he's cooked his rear tyres now?
Yeah, but window's not open.
No, it's not.
He's stationary. He's returned to the pits.
Oh
no.
Hang on.
What is the situation here for Tech Leader? Because he's returned to the pit box.
I don't know if he's out of fuel or anything either, and...
Wow. Right, so Dan at the moment, Shoemaker's still second place. Dan has a 6-second lead. Ben Bath is now onto the podium. Emo Guy is all of a sudden sitting P4. But wow, oh wow, Kelly was ahead. Oh, hang on, what's happened at the back? Because Future Revenge has got past Danlick and Barabet.
I don't know whether... I cut Danlick as the contact was taking place with...
Tech Leader said it in chat.
With Tech Leader.
Oh, Danlick's had a moment. He's in the wall. Turn 4, we've all done it there. We've all spanned there at some point on any game. Tech Leader had quali fuel in. And you cannot refuel this season. So he's got a 2-minute wait. Now he will be at the back of the pack. He should come out of the pits before Jay comes round to lap him. But how this... Well, you think about it at the moment, PM. They've both got to serve a pit stop. The championship at the moment... Jay will only gain 1 point, so he'll still finish 1 point behind him in this championship battle. Jay needs to pass cars. Dan leads by a good amount. Barabet has got Kelly and Kelly on the back of him with Future Revenge right up front. So the two Bentleys struggling a little bit. Great.
Dan's not a healthy lead now.
Jay's not far off the back of Danlick now that Danlick's hit the wall.
Yeah, and that'll give Jay, if Jay gets past Danlick, the 2 points he needs to be tied with Tech Leader and to give him the championship on race wins at the moment. Oh, what a shame for Tech Leader here. It's all gone horribly wrong for Tech Leader and Jay. And if there was more cars on the grid, you'd fancy Emo Guy's position at the moment, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Right, Kelly pulls out now on Baraba, looking to the inside at turn 1. That damaged McLaren just doesn't seem to have enough in the straight line over the Bentley as he nearly outbrakes himself there and goes into the back of Baraba. This is the closest fight on track at the moment, though, as Tech Leader is now back out the pits. A lap down to Jay.
Ooh.
Right.
But he's got the pace.
He's got the pace. He's got a clean car. And Jay's got a damaged car. So he's got to get past Jay and put the hammer down.
Yeah,
and fresh tyres.
Fresh tyres again. And then he get another set of fresh tyres when he does his mandatory pit stop.
If you've ever heard the term, it's hammer time, my God, does Tech Leader need that now?
He's now got a 44 in his car. He's in a black Mercedes. Lewis. It's hammer time.
Honestly, if he needs a moment like that, he needs something like that now. Kelly.
Or Ross Brawn in 1998, when he told Michael Schumacher, you've got 18 laps worth of fuel, push. To win the race.
Yeah, exactly. Kelly here with this damaged McLaren on the front end is actually really all over the back of Barabet. The McLaren looks mighty through the middle sector. Dan's gap to Shoemaker Was still over 5 seconds in the middle sector. We're just watching Kelly and Danlick at the moment. Dan's gap still 5 seconds to Shoemaker. So I wonder if Shoemaker has a bit of front-end damage. Shoemaker, though, has extended his gap over Benbath. Has this just maybe given Dan this race win?
Maybe. Yeah. He'll take it, wouldn't he? Dan will.
He'd absolutely bite your hand off.
Benbath's just gone off at turn 1.
So Benbath wide at turn 1. That's going to allow Emo Guy to get closer. But Emo Guy looks badly damaged on his car, and I believe the pit window is 27.5 minutes it opened, so we should see it open in the next 30 seconds. If we do see it open in the next 30 seconds, are we going to see runners come straight in? I reckon Emo and Kelly may want to get their cars in, get that damage fixed straight away, because they know they're in for that longer stop. Do they take that longer stop? Keeps the tyres cooler.
Possible. Danlick could be in as soon as the window open. I think he's got quite damaged car.
Jay and Tech, what do you think for them? Tech Leader's obviously got fresh tyres at the minute, so he can go long.
And Jay's wide.
Jay's wide. If I was Tech Leader, I'd try and go as long as possible now that he's got fresher tyres.
Tech Leader's flashing Jay like mad here, and Jay goes wide again. Jay's got to be careful here. 27.5 minutes, pit window opens. Jay's got to be careful. He's had one drive-through already. He doesn't want a second drive-through in these conditions then. And Kelly on the back of Baraba. Right, are we going to see drivers come in? It's Dan who's coming to the pit lane first. Who's coming round to the pit lane first. We're going to stay with this battle, although let's change to Dan, because I don't think we're going to see that there. Dan, the nature of that corner makes it look like they're going to come into the pits, and they don't. Shoemaker stays out. Benbath, he's in. Benbath decides to pit, so Benbath in an early box here. Wouldn't surprise me if Emo Guy follows him in. He doesn't now.
Stays out.
Yeah, that's an interesting call from Emo Guy there. John Andrews. For once, actually, John Andrews has a pretty clean-looking car. He comes into the box. Future Revenge stays out. Imagine Kelly's got a box here. And indeed, Kelly does want to box. He's straight into the pit. He's got ahead of... Technically, got ahead of Danlick here now as well. As Danlick and Jay... Oh, Danlick thought about it there. Both come in. Tat Leader now could unlap himself from Jay, who you think is going to repair that damage.
You would think you put... Oh, yeah! Oh! He hit Danlick down the pit lane! Oh,
no.
Oh, no. Because that's probably made Danlick speed as well.
Flashbacks?
Yeah. Well, the man currently leading the race, yeah.
I didn't hit him that hard, right?
No.
I didn't hit Dan that hard. When it rains, it pours for Jay at the moment. That's going to look at the front end of that Ferrari. He's got to repair damage now. He has no other choice. Benbath is already away. Jay's not even at the 50-50. Yeah, exactly. Jay's only just got to his pit box as Tat Leader goes through turn 4. Ben is already away then, and Benbath can come back out onto the circuit and go away. But Jay, wow, how he's had a nightmare race here. What about Dan then this time round? John Andrews and Kelly, they're both away. So Kelly stays ahead of Danlick and will be well clear now of Danlick and Jay. So Kelly in this race. In fact, he's a lot closer, it looks like, to John Andrews as well.
Kelly didn't fix his damage. Kelly's still got damage on the front end of his car. Maybe it turns better.
Yeah, maybe it feels a little better for him. Dan stays out. Shoemaker stays out. The gap was still over 5 seconds at the second sector. What's it going to be now? It's 6.1. Wow, Danny's extending this gap. Emo's in.
Emo's in. Danlick did not repair his damage.
Jay's still in the pits.
Future Revenge stays out. What about Baraba here then? Is he going to box? He does indeed. He pulls it straight in. Jay's still in the pits. And here comes Tech Leader. He's at the final corner now. Yes, Tech Leader's still got to pit. But crucially, he's unlapped himself from Jay. He's now going to take the position from Jay. And Jay needs to hope and pray that he comes out the pits relatively soon, because now it's championship advantage back to Tech Leader, who gets ahead of Jay. And Jay still stationary in the pit lane of Baraba and Emo Guy in. And it's 6.2 seconds in the lead of this race. Kelly, though, is on the back of John Andrews. Oh, he's trying to get on the back of John Andrews. The gap's 3.9 seconds.
John Andrews is having quite a good race tonight.
Yeah, he's having a nice quiet race and kind of getting on with his business.
He seems to have had damage in a lot of races this season. Tonight, like you say, he's just got on with it.
Yeah, he's kept the car away from everything.
Jay's now coming out of the pits.
Yep, Jay's away.
He's been lapped by Ben Bath.
He has been lapped by Ben Bath.
He's
but
now behind Tech Leader. And
Tech Leader's the next car on track. He's at the chicane. Tech Leader's got to pit. Emo Guy is still in. Baraba's now away. So Ben Bath has got ahead. John Andrews will re-jump Emo Guy. Kelly will now jump Emo Guy. As Dan comes in then, Ben Bath is out. So Kelly's jumped Baraba. So good pit stop from Kelly.
Yeah, as Shoemaker carries on and takes the lead of this race. Future Revenge is now heading towards pit lane.
Oh, here comes Emo Guy. Danlick has to go a little deep because Emo Guy's got that inside line. And no can do there. Emo stays in front as Shoemaker's about to put a lap on them. Tech Leader stays out.
He's got a couple of... He could probably do 2 more laps before he has to pit. So...
Well,
and he's on fresher tyres than...
Yeah, exactly.
Jay was in, and Jay had more damage when he rear-ended Danlick. That's probably going to go in, to be honest. I can see that going in.
I mean, I wouldn't really be surprised. Right, Ben Bath coming into the last sector now. We're halfway through the race. As here comes Unorthodox then. He's still in the pits at the minute, is Dan.
Car's now lowered.
Yep, it's gone green, so Dan is away.
Not like you think it would lowered, because how the Moretti just runs on this chain. It's not the best rendition, is it? Of Moretti. I'm sure it's better on the PS4.
Okay, seeing as you said my headset was still crackling, I've changed microphones now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Fantastic. Right, so Dan is out. Ben Bath didn't get him. In fact, Ben Bath is nowhere near Dan Unorthodox then. So it's Shoemaker, Future Revenge, and Tech Leader still to come into the pits. Where is Shoemaker at the moment? He's by pit lane. So then, chaps, what does Jay have to do now with Tech Leader still pitting?
Yeah, he's got to push. He's got no choice. He has to push.
He's got to push, and I think he's got to cross his fingers and hope for a bit of carnage.
Well, Leon Fernie did not come back in, so that is probably going to be a retirement for Leon Fernie at the last race of the season. What a shame to end it that way.
What, this Future Revenge in?
Shoemaker is in. Future Revenge stays out. And Tech Leader then. What is Tech Leader going to do now? He stays out for one more lap.
Yeah, that's all he's got time for is one more lap to then come in and...
Yeah, I was watching Shoemaker on his lap, and he had a massive slide up the top of the circuit, so his tyres are probably cooking. So probably the best that he came into the pits to try and get a bit closer to Dan.
Well, the interesting thing is Kelly has actually lost out to John Andrews, so he's just not got the pace of John Andrews in this race at the moment. As Emo Guy will be closing in on Baraba shortly as well. Baraba just left the chicane as Emo Guy enters it. Danlick now falling behind. So where is Dan then? As Shoemaker's away, Dan has already got past Shoemaker. And Dan sailing off into the sunset for possibly the final AM race of the season. In a week where Dan will make his 200th appearance, race 2 in the Porsche Carrera Cup Sunday afternoon. Dan could be on for a second win of the season in the Retia. And Sunday, did you notice in his interview Sunday, Fiori's had more wins than him in Porsche Corp. Fiori's had the same, Fiori's done better because he's in a Lexus, stands fancy order in the Retia. Dan will have more GT3 wins than Fiori if he wins tonight.
Yeah.
So no excuses, really.
No excuses.
Obviously, Fiori's got 2 races to come on Thursday. Could win them both and see what happened there. Shoemaker comes out the pits, and that he's well clear. But Ben Bath was 3rd quickest in the practice, but that must have been a low fuel run because he just hasn't had the pace in the race, has he?
No, he's not had the pace.
It is very Golf McLaren coloured McLaren. They have the darker blue one, further white blue for Golf.
Right, Future Revenge into the final corner. Nope, because he's going to enter the pit. So Future Revenge boxes now. Tech Leader is going to follow him in. So Tech Leader will have fresh tyres for the final 18 minutes of this race. So if you're Tech Leader now, you've got to hope for a good stop. He doesn't hit the back of the Bentley, so that's a positive. But Jay is coming into the final sector, so you'd imagine Jay will take this lead back. The problem is, Jay needs to get ahead of Tech Leader and Danlick to go down to a countback of race wins.
He does, and that might be its all last. If Danlick's still driving a heavy damaged car.
So Future Revenge did lead this race for a little bit. Him and tech leader stop. Dan comes flying past. He was well in front of Shoemaker when he crossed the line. What's the gap between them two? 7.9 seconds. Benbaff, you see there in the background, will now take P3 in this race. Here comes Jay, who is going to take P10 back from tech leader. Now we await the gap to see where Jay is in terms of Danlick. Danlick is actually in the final sector, so Jay 2 sectors behind. In 18 minutes, he needs to get a move on to catch Danlick, who is very wide there. And Jay got the drive-through penalty himself for the track limits. You have to say that, you know, even though tech leader's been in the pits, Jay needs that up hand. Tech leader and Future Revenge are away. Where's Future Revenge coming out, actually? Where's Kelly? Will Kelly get Future Revenge here? I believe he might. Just. No, yes, he possibly. Actually, Future Revenge out the pit lane. Here comes Kelly. Future Revenge will have that inside line into turn 1. Kelly sweeps around the outside. Kelly moves himself into P5.
He does indeed, and Future Revenge is going to have fresher tyres and possibly no damage on that Bentley. So KLF 900 might be easy pickings for him.
Might be easy pickings indeed. Danlick's just gone through turn 1 while Jay's coming towards the final sector. Kelly then just ahead of Future Revenge. Now, Future Revenge has got the lapped car of Tech Leader on the back of him, who is 28 seconds behind Jay. Now, at the minute, Tech Leader does not need to pass Jay to win this championship. Closest fight on track so far is this Avimo guy, gaining on the back of the green and blue Bentley of Baraba.
It'll be Iron Brew Nissan.
In the Diet Iron Brew.
Yeah, Iron Brew Zero.
Changed his colours, let's not forget, in the season, because we said it looked like a can of Iron Brew. So he's in the Diet Iron Brew colours. And what can Emo Guy do? Future Revenge 1.6 from Kelly, so we keep our eyes on that gap closing as well. Benbaff 2.4 off the back of Shoemaker as well.
I think so.
Emo Guy's right on the back of Baraba now.
Baraba just seems to be a bit squirrely out of corners at the moment. And is Emo Guy going to look for a sand it up the inside? He does. Just gets it stopped in time, although that prevented Baraba getting a good run out that corner. He's now going to look up the inside again, and Emo Guy this time manages to get a better run through the corner, and that is a lovely overtake from Emo Guy there. Back up into P7 now for Emo Guy, as Danlick 12 seconds behind these two. Jay and Tech Leader 27 seconds, as Tech Leader's now unlapped himself from KLF. So that is job done. Kelly doesn't really need to fight with Tech Leader here. He can just let the championship leader go about his business. But out front it is Dan. 7.7 clear of Shoemaker, with Benbaff slowly gaining on Shoemaker.
Baraba doing a late lunge on Emo into turn 1.
Yeah, and I've just caught the end of that, and it didn't look like it ended well.
No, Baraba was exploring the track, checking the marshals were okay at turn 1.
Not doing a Valtteri Bottas, and that's where he ended up in F1 the other year. As there is a bit of a queue of cars here, up into Sector 1, into Sector 2, as Tech Leader now is trying to get on the back of John Andrews here. So Kelly started to bring that gap down to John Andrews. John Andrews just coming under a bit of pressure from Tech Leader at the moment. Tech Leader obviously wants to get a move on with this. He wants to catch Jay. Tech Leader up the inside of the chicane, a bit of door banging between him and John Andrews. That's going to help Kelly get on the back of John Andrews. That's going to have negated a good run for John. Benbaff's within 1.4 now of Shoemaker. Yes, so Benbaff, I don't know what he's done since the pit stop, but he's charging.
Or is Shoemaker making a few mistakes? He's dropped over a second further behind Daniel now.
Or is he set his tyre?
Yeah, was his? That's a point. Was his pit stop tyre pressure set right?
Yeah, that's highly possible. It's the defaults. They're going to be balloons, not tyres.
You wouldn't fancy being on them today, would you? At all?
No.
Right.
You want a little rain shower just to dampen things off.
There is no chance of a rain shower, that is for sure. 46 degrees still the track temperature, as Kelly now within a second of Future Revenge. Actually, look at this train. Kelly, John Andrews separated by half a second, and then it's 4 tenths back to Future Revenge. So here comes Kelly on John Andrews as Future Revenge. He's going to look on the pair of them, it looks like. He's got a little late on the brakes, thinks better of it. He did this at Silverstone where he pulled out, had a look, and then just braked earlier than his rivals, and Kelly now trying to make the pressure on John Andrews. Kelly could get a top 4 here tonight, and fair play to Kelly.
Yeah, but won't be bad for Kelly.
Just dropping back to Danlick. He's just crossed the line. Jay still only halfway. He's at the top of the circuit. Tech Leader 26 seconds behind Jace. We'll have to keep our eyes on that developing. But we know Kelly's good for his defending. Well, he's got to do some overtaking this time. He's got to try and get past the Porsche of John Andrews. And bearing in mind, for this Manufacturers' Championship, this could keep Porsche in the fight with John Andrews currently P4 and the two Ferraris 10th and 11th. Just to note as well, Ferrari will then possibly not be able to get its 50th podium this season because it needs 4. And there's none in Pro, unless David races, and Euro. So, you know, battle might still be on in this Constructors' Championship fight between Porsche and Ferrari for 3rd place.
Yeah, Ben Bath's within a second of Shoemaker now.
So Ben Bath having a cracking little scrap here, but we're still with this KLF John Andrews and Future Revenge battle. Emo Guy's only 4.3 seconds behind in the background, so he's coming on these boys further forward. And at the moment, you have to say, it's been a fantastic end to the... Well, it's been a fantastic season. Kelly's gone a little wide. Future Revenge tries to tuck up the inside. Had that tighter line, couldn't do it. I don't think John Andrews got the best run out the final corner, because down the start straight, here comes Kelly, and here comes Future Revenge. Future pulls out on Kelly. It's then Kelly who pulls out on John Andrews. The camera pans out on all three, and Kelly up the inside. Thank your mama for the ginsters.
Future Revenge is at the inside of John Andrews, going down into turn 2. He has a look at Kelly, but he's got up, and Kelly goes wide.
Kelly's wide.
Kelly's wide, and Future Revenge is through. Kelly's tapped him into the wall. Oh no, Kelly and John Andrews can't make a bit of contact. Emo Guy's on the back of this, and it's all a bit handbags here in this final arm race. Kelly tries to defend from John Andrews there and cuts across turn 4 and then runs very wide. Well, that was all a little amateur.
Finally, Hams look like Ham.
Did a little bit there, because Ham's been one of the best leagues this season. Ben Bath is now within a 10th of Shoemaker. Shoemaker's put the gap down a little bit to Unorthodox here. If I've got that one in tonight, Daz, if you're still listening, wait for what I've got in store for you tomorrow night.
Emo Guy is now right on the back of John Andrews. Ferrari's shot right off the back of this streak now. He's 5 seconds off the back. Emo Guy is going to have a look. John Andrews had a little bit of a slide coming through that corner. Emo Guy down the inside, thinks better of it. But, no, John didn't go wide there.
Yeah, managed to keep it within the track limits, and we're watching that battle at the front on the podium at the moment. While that's all happening for 4th place, way behind these guys, it is a battle for 2nd and 3rd between Ben Bath and Shoemaker as they come up the hill towards turn 4. Tech leader's 22 seconds behind Jay. Jay is coming into sector 1, while Danlick has just started the final sector, so he's still 2 sectors behind pretty much. As Dan says, he can't wait in the chat.
Emo Guy down the inside of John Andrews into turn 1. John's going to go way too wide, goes straight off and goes into another country.
You know what I like about you, what you've done there, Jamie, is it was so textbook, you just called it. Like, it was as if that was from a playbook and you're watching highlights back. You've just called that one into turn 1. John Andrews defends the inside line then on Future Revenge, and now all of a sudden Emo Guy is on the back of Kelly for P4, while Ben Bath is really hassling the back of Shoemaker here for P2 and 3. And you have to say, PN and Jamie, that since Shoemaker and Tech Leader had that coming together, now, hang on a minute. No, because Tech Leader started moving after Shoemaker hit him. I wonder if Tech Leader ran out of fuel, that's why Shoemaker hit him. But since they've had contact, Dan has been dominating this race.
He has indeed. The gap's come down a little bit, I think, the last lap, but every other lap has been going up.
Well, it's 6.8 now, so Dan's tyres may just be dropping off into the final 10 minutes. Shoemaker's extended his gap. As Emo Guy's now looking on the back of KLF. Future Event starting to drop off the pace a little bit. Good evening to Peaceful Stepdad. What a race indeed, as it's been absolutely fantastic for the finale of AM. And it's Jay who will lose out by a point at the moment to Tech Leader as Kelly ran a little wide and wiggly. Emo Guy's now looking on the back of him. Can't get the move done. Future Revenge looks on John Andrews. Can't get the move done. And Kelly and Emo Guy, like Catalonia earlier this season, are fighting at it. This time it's not for the race win. It is for 4th place on the track. And Kelly is showing why he's such a good defender at the minute.
Yeah, Future Revenge, John Andrews are going at it behind Future Revenge down the inside. Oh, Andrew just gives a little nibble on the back there, but Future Revenge is up into 6th place.
One thing I forgot to mention, actually, while Peaceful Stepdad is in the chat, Peaceful Explosion isn't in the chat tonight, and we have to say happy wedding anniversary to Peaceful Explosion and Mrs. Peaceful Explosion. Hope you've had a fantastic day and fantastic evening. It's Emo Guy. Went a little deep on Kelly. Kelly tried to get the cutback and pushes Emo Guy wide there. And it is all handbags from the McLaren driver at the moment.
It is Emo Guy's looking around the outside, but he's gone deep. And where's Future Revenge? Not quite there. So Emo Guy can have another go at Kelly.
PN, this is the scrappiest Am has been all season. And yet we were saying all season that they've been the best league in terms of the cleanest racing.
School's out, isn't it?
School's out, yeah. School's out. Everybody's got handbags out, and apart from Tech Leader and Jay.
It's a bit like race 3 in touring cars.
Yeah.
To help with the car.
You're coming to the end of the day. Who cares what happens to the car? I want points.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake Hill.
Yeah. It's a bit like, if there's a gap, can my car fit in it? Possibly, let's find out.
Yeah, there's no second thoughts. It's just, can my car fit? Yeah, of course it can. It's the Mathew method of, there's a bit of tarmac there. Well, there wasn't a car space. No, but there was tarmac there, so I've gone for the gap.
Emo Guy right on the back. Kelly goes defensive, then comes back across, and Emo Guy doesn't attack in that corner. Waits for a better opportunity.
Waits for a better opportunity. Shoemaker started to extend his gap over Benbath once again here. Dan has the gap 6.1 now, so they're starting to catch him, but they need to go to about a second a lap to get ahead of him here at the moment. As Future Revenge is now right on the back of Emo Guy here, so he might fancy another look on Emo Guy, as Emo Guy's going to try again on KLF. KLF goes defensive. Emo Guy pulls across to have a look as well. And Future Revenge may have a look on Emo Guy here. Get it sent as Emo Guy's now going to come back up the inside of KLF. He's not going to get that one done. Kelly gets the undercut. Future Revenge follows Emo Guy. Future Revenge could have had Emo there.
He could have. You could see that from a mile away that Emo Guy was going to go. Emo Guy was going to go so wide at turn 1.
It's out the playbook once again, and it's another one for the king of cutbacks.
The gap between Dan and Shoemaker has really come down.
It's come down 4 tenths since sector 1 and the middle sector. PN?
I'm just watching Dan now, seeing if he's sliding the car like it would if the tyres are starting to overheat at 46 degrees track temp.
So we feel that Dan's tyres possibly going off here.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they're starting to die on him.
So Dan's tyres potentially starting to die. Shoemaker's and Ben's obviously in a better position. Shoemaker pitted a lap after Dan, let's not forget. So Shoemaker's tyres a lap younger than Dan's here. So for an Orthodubs, he's got to just go that little longer.
Oh, Kelly's gone a little bit wide. Emo Guy got compromised, so but he's got the inside line. Is Kelly going to come across? He is. Puts himself in a Jason Plato position, just puts himself in the middle of the track.
Puts himself in the middle of the track, parks it on the apex and says, if you're going to hit the back of me, that's your fault, because I've done nothing wrong. And there's no wrong with that kind of driving. I applaud that kind of driving. As Benbath was looking on the back of John Andrews a little further back, but John manages to hold Benbath off from that. So we've got a battle for 2nd and 3rd developing, as Benbath looks like he's catching on the back of Shoemaker. We've got a battle for 4th, 5th and 6th between these three. As Emo Guy once again, he's going to look down the circuit. Kelly trying to weave down the start straight there. He's made his 2 manoeuvres, can't come across anymore because Emo Guy is now there. Emo Guy needs to get his braking zone right this time. He gets it braked a little early, tries to slow it down even more. The McLaren could get a better exit here. Gets not the run he wanted, and Kelly has to sit behind Emo Guy. Emo Guy did that pitch perfect there, and Kelly's down to 5th.
Yeah, he done that perfectly. He blocked Kelly on the outside line so Kelly couldn't get the cutback, and now Future Revenge is sniffing all over the back of that white and yellow McLaren.
Oh, there we go. A fun fact about Hungaroring, Nexus has just put in the chat, that the bit you can see at turn 4, I don't know where he's looking, but is apparently you bring your swimsuit to Hungaroring because there's a water park there.
Yeah, there is.
There we go.
Tech leaders within 15.
Yeah, round the right-hander at the top of the circuit, you can just see the water park in your top left.
All right, we're going swimming after this, boys.
Yep.
Bring your budgie, smugglers. Right, Kelly's lost out to Emo Guy now. He's dropped a bit further back as Future Revenge is now on the back of him. These Bentleys seem to have come to life a little bit, PN, in the end of this race.
Yeah, they're looking a bit more sprightly. There's hope for you in Pro then.
Yeah.
You and Benno, if Benno's racing.
No, Benno's declined at the moment.
Baraba's on the back of John Andrews as well now.
He is indeed. Danlick. Oh, he looks slow. Has he got more damage to the front? Not sure about that. But if he's got more damage, Jay is now actually he's lost a lot of time as Danlick because Jay's only 38 seconds behind him. Danlick needs to hope that he doesn't have any more mistakes because if Jay gets past Danlick, that could be upper hand to Jay in this championship. Future Revenge having a look on Kelly. Pulls right across the full length of the circuit. He's going to make turn one so tight. Kelly turns in, but there is an absolute tank coming through the inside. Kelly gets to switch back underneath again and down towards turn two. Kelly's going to have the outside line. Oh, he spun him round! He spun him round!
That's where Taki Inui did the fire extinguisher.
Oh.
In 95.
Future Revenge is going to lose out to John Andrews and Baraba here.
And Future Revenge isn't going to be happy about that.
He's going to be livid. He's going to be livid about that one, I'd imagine. Danlick has crossed the line. He's gone wide at turn one. Jay is coming into the final couple of corners. The gap was 38 seconds, let's not forget, last time around. So what will the gap be now? Tech leader's 11 seconds. Shoemaker has dropped Benbath. He's 2.8 off the back of Dan, and there's at least 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I just didn't notice in the gap, and I noticed last time it was 3 seconds. Now it's down to 2.8. So Shoemaker is really coming through. Dan must be really struggling on his tyres.
He'll be in the chat saying he'll hate the car.
Yeah, he will be. I hate the car. Glad I'm out of it. It's going to be burnt at the end of the season. As Baraba looking each way till Sunday on the back of John Andrews there. Good race for John Andrews. He's been in the mix. Has a bit of a wiggle though through the right-hander. Baraba gets the run down towards the left-hander. Thinks better of it. Pulls back in behind. Jay was 32 seconds behind Danlick. We only gained 4 seconds on the last lap. What's he going to have gained now as Danlick is coming through? It's actually up to 34, so Jay's not catching that much. Tech leader, though, he's not going to get past Jay in this one as we're about to start. No, we're not about to start. They're not even in the final sector yet.
No, I've got my eyes on Dan and Shoemaker.
Yeah, the gap's come down a little bit in sector 1. Let's see what it's like in sector 2, because they're now coming to it. But Benbath's not far off the back, so the gap is coming down again.
It's 2.1. Benbath, Shoemaker 1.9. Baraba, though, has got past John Andrews. Oh, taps him. Nobody goes around, but John Andrews just give Baraba a little love tap into turn one. They've got Future Revenge behind Danlick. Crosses the start line. He's only 14 seconds behind. Then it's Jay and Tech leader. But Dan here is going to start the final lap of this race. He needs a pitch-perfect lap because at the minute, Shoemaker is on a charge. We said earlier, PN, how Shoemaker should have won Spa if it wasn't for his internet. Could he be on for a race win tonight?
Let's not jinx him yet because...
It's one thing to catch, it's one thing to overtake.
That's a point. Jamie, me and PN had a conversation the other week. Best sim racing commentator?
Ooh.
Professional.
I'd have to say David Addison, just because he does do
sim
racing.
Yeah, he does.
He does sim race commentary.
Matt's that's it, you're gone, Jamie.
Yeah, that's the last you've heard of Jamie Brazier. Thanks for joining us. Dan on Orthodubs now is 1.5 seconds ahead of Shoemaker. The gap has really come down here. I only asked because me and Pierre had this conversation the other week, and yeah, best real life commentator, dead or alive?
Yeah.
I don't do real life racing, so thank you very much. Has to be either Murray Walker or the Geordie guy who does the endurance stuff.
John Hydoff.
That's the guy. Dan, now, you can tell he struggled so much in this last part of the lap because, look, the gap was 1.8, then went down to 1.5. Now into this final sector that Dan's approaching, the gap is going to be at least a second, if not less. You will not want to drive through on this final lap. It's 0.6 of a second. Shoemaker's got it down to. There's 3 corners for Dan to hang on. For Shoemaker, the 14-year-old, to make him maybe get a race win. Dan gives it the wide berth. And here comes Shoemaker, trying to attack him. He's got one last possible chance. Dan ran a little wide there on exit. That looks like he's took the line to get that Retia straightened up as soon as possible. But for the final time in the amateur season, it is going to be the 6-time champion of Unorthodox who takes the race win. But hats off to Shoemaker for a brilliant second place. Ben Bath comes home in third. But Dan will be absolutely delighted with that. PN, can we get Shoemaker in the party if possible? And we'll have a chat with him.
Jay's now about to cross the line in 10th.
And Jay will cross the line in 10th place. But will it be enough? This is what we'll have to wait and see, which means Tech Leader will come across the line in 11th place. Hopefully them two join the party as well. And we'll see who does well there, as Emo Guy will be the next to get to the line. He's well in front of everybody else, so Emo Guy looks like he's going to finish in that P4 spot. But what a race tonight. What a race it has been.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic race. Emo Guy comes round the final corner and heads towards the line for a well-deserved 4th place.
We're going to get a quick driver of the day poll out, because then we're going to do a driver of the season. As Emo Guy crosses the line for P4, KLF is going to come across the line P5.
Shoemaker's full PSN name, because
Shoemaker 72696. Here comes Baraba. It's going to be P620 this season. Not a bad season for Baraba in this one. John Andrews is going to come to the line in P7. Future Revenge will take P8. And then we just await Danlick, who is going to cross the line P9. Danlick obviously lost his teammate NTS after week 1. As here comes Danlick towards the line now then, and the AM season comes to an end. PN, driver of the day for yourself?
Shoemaker.
Jamie?
Yeah, it has to go to Shoemaker as well.
Yeah, I'm going to give mine to Shoemaker. I think for the youngster, he's had a fantastic night's worth of racing. Brilliant to see from him. PN, though, the championship, if Jamie, while you're here as well, you'll be interested to know this one. The championship is won by 1 point. And the championship goes the way of Tech Leader. He will be your Season 2 champion here in the AM category. Tech Leader wins it by 1 point at the end from Jay. So a great, great championship win for Tech Leader, who's been behind all season and had to do it the hard way. But what a job for him. So hopefully we get Ben Bath and Tech Leader in for a word with them two on the podium. As I believe we're joined by the top 2. But the final running of the classifications, Tech Leader, your champion, by 1 point from Jay. Emo Guy is P3, P4 is Future Revenge, and P5. Baraba's in 6th place. Ginger Bush ends the season in 7th. Ben Bath P8 with Danlick down in 9th. John Andrews rounds out the top 10 with Sharkbait 11th. KLF in P12. Unorthodox P13. Shoemaker 14th. Leon Fernie P15. OCEM2R P16. Checo Bress, Hitman, CV Renner, and Lee Hendy round out the podium. And we're joined now by the top 3. So we will start with Ben Bath. Ben, talk us through your race there, because it was a little quiet until that second stint.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was first lap I caught, I'm not too sure, it was on that second corner I got caught up, and I had a little bit of damage for that first stint. Pitted early, got rid of the damage, and then had a bit of pace for the second. But yeah, no, Shoemaker was quick, and well done, Dan.
Now tell us, honestly, how hard was that? You had 2 guys who was both in your sort of stable as the team. One was your actual teammate on the night, one was a rival on the night for the team, effectively. Was it just let them both through and let them race each other? Exactly
that. I think we said beforehand that I was in it for the team tonight. So, yeah, just pulled over, let them past.
It's been a great season. Obviously, you missed the first couple of weeks being on holiday. Do you think you'd have been able to be in this championship fight, maybe, had you been at the start of the season?
It's hard to say, but I'd like to think that I would have been. But yeah, well done to Luke.
Well, Ben, congratulations on the P3. Well done tonight.
Cheers, mate.
And we're going to speak with Shoemaker, who's at 14 years of age, one of our younger podium sitters. And well, that was some race. One more lap, you may have had the race win. Hopefully Shoemaker can hear us and is there. Shoemaker, yeah, one more lap, you could have had the race win there. was a good race from yourself, though. It looked like in the middle part of the race, you lost a bit of pace to an orthodubs after the contact with Tech Leader, but you brought it back at the end. After the disappointment to Spa, you obviously lost that race win due to internet problems. Does this feel like a win tonight? Well, there we go. Shoemaker, congratulations on P2. And we've got the man who probably can't wait to burn his Retia, but I'm probably going to say he's delighted tonight. Dan, that was bittersweet.
Oh my god, I didn't actually think this thing would win tonight. I got to thank Shoemaker, really, because he was the one who allowed me to disappear. He was holding the rest of the pack up, and yeah, I just made it very, very wide and made sure that no one could get around me. I mean, fair play to Tech Leader and Shoemaker. They were both very clean. They gave me a couple of nudges here and there, but it wasn't anything dumb or daft. And yeah, Hungaroring, it is just literally Monaco without the barriers, so it's difficult to pass here. Now,
you may be a 6-time champ here at SimPlay Motorsport, but you've really had a challenge this season. You came in late. You've really had a challenge of the car you was in. At the end of the season, you've come away with 2 race wins. I bet you did not expect that the minute you first turned a wheel in this car.
I do want to mention, I forgot to say this, I was low on fuel on that last end of that race. So I was fuel saving from the pit lane, from the pit stop to the end. So Shoemaker was coming for me because I was fuel saving. I think I crossed the line with something like 1.2 litres worth of fuel left. So yeah, it was tight. I felt like Silverstone all over again. But in the Clios. No. Like, as soon as I got in this car, I knew even in AM, like, it was going to be a challenge. Kyle Army, when I was last and nowhere, it was just, yeah. I knew the car had pace in a straight line. So if it was Monza, hey, it might have been another race win. But this car is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And I've just proved you can win in it, but it takes a lot of effort, and a track has to be suited to you. Zandvoort and here, it's difficult to overtake. So as long as I was at front, no one was going to get past, so I was going to make it very difficult.
Well, Dan, do you want to know a little stat?
I'm now equal you at Hungaroring.
Well, not just that, no. The Retia has more race wins than the Nissan, the Cadillac from Project Cars, and the Jaguar, and is tied on wins with the Lexus. So there you go. That's what you've managed to achieve this season. Dan Davis, your race winner for the final time in AM. Well done, Dan.
Cheers. Well done to the boys who were racing me at the end, and congratulations, Tech Leader, well-deserved champion.
And we are going to get a quick word with our second place man in the championship. Jay, you've led pretty much all season, but it just wasn't to be at the end here.
No, my setup, after 3 laps, I had 2 yellow tyre, well, 2 front left and front rear, front left and rear left was just yellow after 3 laps. So we've been doing this all week on the server, and I just cannot for the life of me get a setup ready. And we was on it last night. I got the perfect setup and the server disconnected and I couldn't save it. And then I had to try and put it together in the last hour and 20 minutes, and obviously couldn't get it. Doesn't help getting. To be fair, I did do a little bit of I tried to just go hell for leather at the start. I got hit and then just went too hard and just got a track limits, got to stop and go. And then yeah, basically I thought I was all right, because obviously me, Tech Leader and Ben are all in a party. Tech Leader's come through saying he's run out of fuel, and I was like, okay, this I could actually potentially win this. And then he comes out the pits, and next minute he's about 30-40 seconds behind me, and then 2 more laps he would have had me. But fair play to him. He's the car. I didn't have the right setup for the track.
Yeah,
it was just but fair play to him. He's absolutely smashed it. So well deserved.
And it was only by a point as well, so it just shows how close it's been all season, and the fact that Tech Leader has pushed you hard in this second half of the championship.
Of course. I mean, the fact that he's beaten me by 1 point, and he missed a race. Hats off to him. So
yeah,
there's not much more I can go from there. But yeah, we'll go again next year.
We do indeed. Well, Jay, well done on the second place in the championship. Well done, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
And we now speak with your brand new SimPlay champion, Tech Leader, the man who is the champion by 1 point in the Ferrari. That must be feeling very, very nice tonight.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Could have been better with a win or at least a podium. Um, Absolute rookie mistake not putting the right fuel in. Um, I tell you why it was. In the practice session, I really wanted to get into the 144s, so I changed my setup for a quali setup, and then just forgot to put it back again. So
Oh, dear.
started the race on 20 litres of fuel.
Did you think at that point it could have possibly been over when you realised you'd put the low fuel in?
Absolutely, yeah. I was saying to the guys on the comms, I was like, "Oh no, I've ruined it. It's yours, Jay. I've lost it." So I knew I could go back to the pits and then redo again with 2 minutes of penalties, but I didn't for 1 second think that I would still be in it after
Yeah.
that.
Well, you are now the new champion. It means a potential new challenge in Pro-Am next season, obviously with the other guys as well, potentially making the step up. Bit more of a tougher task, though, next season. A few quicker guys in the Pro-Am category. Are you looking forward to coming back? Are you looking forward to giving it another go once again?
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to a new challenge with Pro-Am. Looking forward to racing with the new guys, but also hopefully, obviously, the Flying Potatoes trio coming up.
Yeah, well, it's been fantastic. Tech Leader, you are the Season 2 Amateur Champion. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks very much.
And we get a final quick word from Jamie Brace here. Jamie, give us a driver of the season from what you've seen. Give us your final perspectives on tonight.
Well, my driver of the season has to go to Tech Leader. So with him being our champion, he's been quick all season. Even tonight, when he's looked out of it, he's still not given up. And yeah, the three that are going up into AM, hopefully they can mix it with the top Pro-Am lads. And you never know, at the end of next season, we might even see them making the move up into Pro.
Indeed. So, PN, final words from yourself. And driver of the season, of course.
Driver of the season is definitely Tech. Missed a race and still win it by a point. That's not bad. Am's been great in general. Great addition at last minute.
Yeah.
And roll on next season for him.
Yeah.
I may be with him because of real life commitments.
Indeed. So I'm going to give my driver of the season as well to Tech Leader. I think he's been fantastic. Hats off, though, to the rest of the field in terms of Jay, Ben Bath, Ginger Bush, Ant. We saw great efforts from Shoemaker, Emo Guy, Future Revenge finished fourth in the championship. Barabra had a good season. Hats off to Dan for driving Loretia as well in this championship, as well as Emo Guy, who couldn't drive his favoured Bentley, was into the Nissan. So for him to finish 14 points off the championship is fantastic. The fans' vote for driver of the day went the way of Shoemaker, as it did for the commentators. So Shoemaker is the overall driver of the day, and the overall driver of the season goes the way of Tech Leader. That is all we have time for in this amateur category, though. Amateur will hopefully make a return next season for Season 3 in the middle of September. Do not go anywhere, because it's going to be an absolutely fantastic season. Sign-up sheets will be on the Discord going out very, very soon. So make sure if you are interested in getting involved in driving next season, you sign up on the sign-up sheet. If you are interested in getting involved as well, there is a job application form. If you want to become a steward, if you want to become a commentator, there is job applications where you can get yourself forward to do any of these jobs. And we will be back live tomorrow night. Myself and Benedict Varga, aka Nexus, will be live. Hungaroring, his home circuit. So maybe you can throw up a few facts for us tomorrow night. In the Pro-Am, the finale. 4 drivers, Louis Allen, Exit Tibbs, Power Sekulovic, and Smokey Devil. All up for the championship. Constructors is 1. 4 for the Drivers' Championship. You will not want to miss that. 8 p.m. UK time there. And join Dan Davis and PM Motorsport for the final season, for the final time in Pro, where you ilk the Ripper and Killer Performance Motorsport have won the Constructors' Championship and the Drivers' Championships. It's a battle for the top 3 at the moment between 4 or 5 drivers. You will not want to miss that one. And then don't forget to join me and PN for the finale of the Porsche Carrera Cup at Donington Park. Bring it on Sunday, where Fury has just won the championship there, so it's just places up for grabs in the season. What a season amateur has been. We can't wait for it to start already next season. We've been SimPlay Motorsport. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Nice.
figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond the shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind.